Hey, welcome everyone. Saturday, it's noon. I'm back. I'm awake. I did some show things from the home office of the abandoned now Massapequa Mall. Oh, what am I hearing? Oh, haha. Let me just mute that. So that doesn't happen again. There you go. What a shame. The old mall used to be bustling with people shopping and kids running around. And on a hot summer day, you would go there and just cool off and window shop, do what you do. And now, this is what it is. Nothing. A beautiful nothing. Still got power. Lights are still on. But there's nobody home. And this is kind of the future for American malls. And it's been this way for a while. Most of the malls here on Long Island, which really the only things you ever found on Long Island are high taxes and malls. That's pretty much what Long Island is. Um, Outside of like Roosevelt Field Mall, which is a monster mall, I think at one time it was like the fourth largest mall in America. Don't know where it is on the list now, but that mall's still full. There's no rental spaces available. All the shops are full. Last I was there was Christmas. I only go there during Christmas. One day I take off to go there and shop in one of the clothing shops to get clothes for my kids. And it's nice to walk around and it's decorative. And they used to have a guy playing the piano, which was just holiday festive. It was really nice to just to go there and see. A little scary because as crime in this state, which we'll get to on another show. But after COVID, it came back. And last Christmas, walking through the mall, I saw people shopping. I actually saw people holding bags walking through the mall like it was the 70s and 80s. Kind of brought a tear. Things felt right again for that one day. But now Massapequa Mall, which was a decent-sized mall, it was also called the Sunrise Mall, is completely a wasteland. And this is what they did with this mall, which I found interesting. So the mall on the outside has a couple of stores that are still in operation. There's a Macy's, Dave & Buster's, and a Dick's Sporting Goods. Everything else in this monster building, my camera's glitching again, is gone. So last I was there, which was again around the holidays because I went to Macy's to do some shopping, there were a bunch of buses that were in front of the mall. I was like, oh, that's interesting. So what they've done with it is they've made it a track for the, how should we say, mentally incapable. I don't know. I want to be careful with the words here. It's the hard R, but no, not that hard R. The other hard R. The mentally incapacitated, maybe. Anyway, they brought them there by the busloads. Where they came from, who knows? I guess there's a bunch of institutions around the area, and they just let them loose like a pack of wild dogs, and they're just walking around, window shopping in stores that don't exist anymore. It was quite interesting. Some in their pajamas. And I just stood there watching this, and I was like, wow, this is kind of a nice track. It's nicer than any gym track I've seen. Got lights on, got nice big glass around. They're just, walking around, drooling. Hey, it gives it at least some kind of limited use, but I that was pretty shocking to see. So what they're going to do with all of these properties, and this is a big problem post-COVID. You got these monster properties, especially in this area, but it's countrywide. Because on YouTube, you go on and you can find a whole bunch of thing about abandoned malls and abandoned stores. great watches. We're going to do some more of that in the coming weeks. Urban exploration has always been a passion of mine. And I'll tell you how it started in a second. It's a great rabbit hole to follow. One of the best, honestly. But so you got all these monster commercial properties, and they're all abandoned. It costs too much to do business there, and nobody's going to shop anymore. Amazon has killed everything. Everybody just goes to Amazon or even online Walmart, and you just go pick it up at Walmart. So what is the need for malls anymore? I don't know what they're going to do with it. They don't even know what they're going to do with it. The properties are zoned a certain way, so they're wondering if they're going to knock this place down, retrofit it. Every other week I'm reading some kind of new thing about it. Let's make more low-income housing. Again, I can go into the political and my thoughts side on this whole thing. That's for Wednesday. We like to keep it light on Saturday. Come on, we all just woke up. You're sitting there, probably still in your pajamas, your skeevies. You're having your coffee, maybe a muffin. Got to work that bran in. And, so the depleted, empty Massapequa Mall. But how I got into this, I want to talk about this for a second. Urban exploration, a fascinating thing. If I would have thought about this earlier, I would have probably put more things up about it. But there are many people that go around and they get into these buildings illegally, obviously, and they take video and pictures of the decay of these properties that are now not being maintained. And it's not only malls, it's standalone stores, it's houses. There's a website called weirdnewjersey.com. weirdnj.com, I believe. Very famous site. They've done some books and publications over the years of all this crazy shit that goes on in New Jersey. New Jersey's a weird fucking state. For example, back in the 70s, I think I could probably bring a picture of this up. Hang on. Let's see here. I have a picture here of this. Yeah, I do. Okay. This thing here. Let me get a better picture. Here it is. Okay. So let's bring this up here. Okay. So there was this thing back in the 70s called the Jungle Habitat, which was owned by Warner Brothers at the time. And it was an outdoor park that was like a zoo with all the animals running free. It was basically Jurassic Park, is what it was. You would, like a safari, you drive the car through and the animals would come up to you and whatever. But the mismanagement of this thing was epic. And what eventually happened, Warner Brothers just lost interest in the project, stopped funding it, and they closed it basically. But they never did anything with the animals. They were all just still running free. And there were people who lived in New Jersey, said they had elk and all this crazy shit running through their backyards to fend for themselves. Craziness. But this was it here in this picture on the right. This is what was left of it. This is now, from what I know, has been gone. And that website, Weird New Jersey, did a whole thing on this. You can go there, you can read it. It's fucking fascinating. And all the other things that happened in New Jersey. There was a town near West Milford, New Jersey, that was like an abandoned town, like with all these houses. Urban legends is where a lot of this spawns from. So that's where I started getting into this whole urban exploration thing, reading about these stories and everything. You just follow this rabbit hole on YouTube, and or if you just want to read it on the web and follow it. From there to the people who live in the steam tunnels under Manhattan. They call them the mole people, which I'm sure is probably more popular now than ever, being the state of the finances and everything in the city. The houses that these people would build underground, tapping off the electrical poles for electricity, water. It's unbelievable. So that's why I started getting into this whole urban exploration thing. Just fascinating reading, sitting there with your jaw open like, wow. One of the best urban exploration houses that I saw and read about Somebody went into Mike Tyson's abandoned mansion in Ohio. Fucking fascinating. Tiger skin rugs, this huge indoor pool with lime green jello water because nobody's been there for years, and like the things that were left behind, nothing, bad, nothing Mike Tyson that would go crazy over, but just like electronics and old stereos and everything. And this one living room had a huge projection TV that somebody had thrown something through, probably Mike. But just to see this and knowing that was his and it's in disrepair, it's just sitting there, everything's overgrown. Just amazing. How could this, the homeless in this country, the price of housings in this nation's gone crazy, yet here is a gigantic mansion completely abandoned. I'm guessing by now it's probably been torn down or demolished, but you got to follow these holes. The YouTube rabbit hole is so great. And the stories that you'll learn, the pictures that you'll see from these urban explorers is fascinating. I love it. Absolutely fascinating. So, now that we got that mall a bit out of the way, I want to talk about IMDb has a top 100 comedy movies of the 80s. I was curious. And I wanted to go down this list quickly and see what exactly these movies are, my thoughts on these particular movies, because I love 80s and 90s comedy movies. My favorite kind of movies. Whenever they're on TV, like the ones we're going to see here, instant watch. I don't care what else is on outside of a Yankee game. I'm watching this. So let's go down this list and see what we have here. Number 25, Fletch. Now, I believe Fletch was Chevy Chase's best movie that he did himself, comedic-wise. Nothing in that movie was a really drop-dead, I'm laughing my guts off movie. It was goofy. Chevy did his thing. This was coming off of, I guess he was after SNL when he had made this. I think he left SNL in like 82, 83. So this was at the peak of his acting fame. Not as funny as any of the vacation movies. Well, at least the first two. But a great Chevy Chase flick. I recommend Fletch. So many little nuances in that movie you repeat over time. It's a good watch. I'll give that one a thumbs up in this list, definitely. Number 24. Interesting. Moving Violations. I remember this this flick very well. Bill Murray's brother. I think his name was Dana Murray. I think. It's the only movie he ever did. Looks exactly like Bill and his older brother. He's the youngest brother of the Murray brothers. Meg Tilly was also in it. And, what was the blonde? I forgot her name. She was in Back to School. The one that played opposite Rodney Dangerfield. She was the teacher in Back to School. She played in this as well. Again, not a movie that really any part you really drop dead laughed in. Fred Willard was in it also. But again, a movie, if it's on TV, I'm watching it. And you enjoy it. It's that perfect 4 p.m., nothing else is going on. I'm sitting here playing with my balls, and I want to watch a movie. It's good. I like Moving Violations. That was a good one. Better Off Dead. One Lane Meyer. John Cusack. One of his better ones, I think one of his first films. He was really young when he made Better Off Dead. The whole foreign exchange student girl he falls in love with, and the Snow Mountain, the K-12. Everybody's seen it. Again, not a movie that any part in the movie I'm in stitches. It's different. It's just a nice, chuckly movie. All right, 23. Yeah, I can see that. Back to the Future. You consider Back to the Future a comedy? That's not a comedy. I don't know why that's even on the list. I mean, yeah, it's got some funny parts, definitely. Again, a couple chuckles, but not a movie I would ever consider as a ball busting comedy. It would definitely, it belongs in the top 10 on another list, definitely, but I don't know what the hell it's doing on this list. So there you go, IMDb. Revenge of the Nerds, the original. Yes. Now this movie had some good parts. I would consider this a nice adult-oriented comedy to watch. Donald Gibb, Anthony Edwards, the guy that played the Skolnick. His name is on the tip of my tongue. And even what's his face from Married with Children, Mr. Jump the Shark himself, with Stan Gable. Yeah, a good flick. It's been on a lot on cable lately. I always watch that when it's on. Revenge of the Nerds 2. You lived with it. Anyone after that should have been burned on the fucking writing floor. One of those series went on way too long. The original Police Academy. All right, yeah. Gutenberg, Mahoney. It had Bubba, what's his face, the football player. David Graff, rest in peace. Tackleberry. Tackleberry, one of the best roles of anybody in the 80s. Love Tackleberry. Out of his fucking mind. Just great. The original, I don't think, was as good as the second one, which is rare that you'll find a second movie better than the first one. The first one was a little slow. A very young, very pretty Kim Cattrall was in it. But it lacked the whole... the second one, they were actually out in the world. And then everyone after that, I mean, come on. Bobcat Goldthwait, Citizens on Patrol. Oh, they really buried that one into the ground, but they were fun enough to watch. I had no problems with any of them, really. Ghostbusters. Yeah. All right, this one I think definitely belongs on the list. While it wasn't a full-blown comedy, it made you chuckle enough to keep it going. And the original one was obviously by far the best one. I mean, anything with Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd in it together is a win. It is. Those two were, and with Harold Ramis, Ernie Hudson, Annie Potts, Rick Moranis, it all worked together. The parts they played were perfect. I give that one a 2 thumbs up. You cannot like Ghostbusters. The second one, that one was not good. The whole slime thing, the picture, Vigo. No, I don't know what they stretched. We needed the money is why they made that one. All right. Okay. Big problem here. I love the Cannonball Run. My favorite movie as a kid. I must have watched that movie 5,000 times. Packed with more stars of yesteryear than I think any movie probably made. Burt Reynolds, Dom DeLuise to start off. Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Jack Elam, Terry Bradshaw, the original Cannonball Run. Oh my God, who else was in it? Catherine Bach. No, I'm sorry, she was in the second one. I'm sorry. She was not a Lamborghini girl. Adrienne Barbeau. She was a Lamborghini girl. This thing was jam-packed with people. And it was fairly successful. I don't know how well it did in the theaters, but it was kind of a cult. Everybody loved Cannonball Run. So they had the idea, said, you know what, let's take more stars of the 80s and jam them into Cannonball Run too. Which, you went Telly Savalas, Catherine Bach, poor Frank Sinatra was dragged into this flick. And you can tell he didn't want to do it. They had to do some cut scenes in it that just didn't match up right. This movie was so bad. Oh my God. Can you see the hair? Oh my God. So, in the first movie, the first Cannonball Run, J.J. McClure, which is Burt Reynolds, he owned a land, air, sea, motor shop where he built race cars and stuff like that. So there was a question of, what are we going to do for the Cannonball? And they came up with the idea of going in the old, I had it here. Oh, here it is. in the old Transcon Medivac. There you go. A Cannibal Run van. And they would travel in this thing 3,000 miles across the country to try to win the race to go from, I think it was from Rhode Island to California. And it was funny. Some fun parts in it. Jackie Chan was in it. The original one. The second one, you got Burt Reynolds, who looked just weird in it. Dom DeLuise, and they're riding in some army vehicle. He's a colonel. Oh my God, they even whipped out Gomer Pyle. What was his name? Jim Nabors to play a tiny role in it. It was so bad. This should not be on the list at all. If the original one isn't higher than 18, I'll be pissed. But this one, man, big problems. Avoid at all costs. If you've got the VHS, use it to start a fire in your fire pit. It's a bad movie. It's horrible. Now, it brings a question. Is it so bad that you watch it? A la Caddyshack 2. Yeah, if it's on, I'll watch it. The soundtrack, by the way, done by the one and only Menudo. Oh, those crazy 80s. Yeah, so I got a problem with that one. I got 5.1 stars on IMDb. All right, what's 17? Beverly Hills Cop. Oh, definitely. I think it should be a little higher. Eddie Murphy's best movie. Didn't need to do anything else. Don't even need to speak about it. Excellent movie. Eddie Murphy, Judge Reinhold. We're just going to fly right by that one. Everybody loves Beverly Hills Cop. Beverly Hills Cop 3? Uncle Dave? Really? Who paid these writers? I'm not even mentioning Beverly Hills Cop 4. No. Don't believe it. I never seen it. Don't think it exists. Won't watch it. Bachelor Party. Yes. Okay. This one had some real good laugh moments in it. Tom Hanks, very young. I think this is coming off his bosom buddy days. When did this one come out? 84? Yes, 84. Yeah. Good watch. Funny movie. Real good. Good comedy. Definitely recommend Bachelor Party. And honestly, I think most of you who are watching this have seen all of these for the most part. You probably haven't seen Cannonball Run 2. But you've seen Bachelor Party. It's been on TNT, played it once. Cut like hell, but you've seen them. So these are just to tuck in the back of your mind that if you haven't seen any of these, probably most of them are free on YouTube or they're on Netflix or something. Check it out when you got nothing to do. Let's see. One of my all-time favorites. Trading Places. It's on every fucking night on Showtime. I'm not kidding you. Every night, Trading Places on. Watched it last night again. Eddie Murphy, Dan Aykroyd. The Duke brothers. Such a racial comedy. Let's call it that. One of the best ever made. The whole bet, Winthorpe is going to turn to crime. And Valentine is going to run the Duke Company. How do you not love this flick? Every time it's on TV, I'm clicking and watching it. Definitely. Everybody's seen it. Nobody watches this is not seen Trading Places. If you haven't seen it, go to the mirror, look at yourself, and smack yourself. Oh, there's so many good parts in that flick. So many good parts. You really think I'd let a run the family company? We'll leave it at there. Okay, Vacation. Chevy Chase, again. Now, this came out in 83, so this was before Fletch. The original Vacation, the best one. I did like the European one. I thought it was pretty fun. The Vegas one, no, it just... That whole movie felt like it was recorded on a camcorder. It didn't really work with me. But the original Vacation, no qualms, no problems. Definitely think it, you've seen it. 1 billion times you've seen it. Mr. Mom, an underrated 80s comedy flick. That's with Michael Keaton and his wife, played by Terry Garr, who also played Richard Dreyfuss's wife in Let It Ride, which was a great movie. I love Let It Ride. Martin Mull is in this. He plays the rich his wife's boss when she gets a job, who's always trying to get her in the sack. Great flick. Even, oh my God, what's his face from Back to the Future is in this. Oh my God, I'm having a bad heart with names right now. The guy to play Doc Brown, he's in this. And even the dude Jeffrey Tambor is in it as well. Boy, look how I remember. I remember crazy names and some I forget. But yeah, I enjoyed this one. There were a couple of moments where you're gonna laugh. You're gonna come close to busting a gut. Come on, when the baby eats the chili, that's fucking funny. So there are a couple moments in it. Not a drop dead hilarity movie. It's a family movie, and there are some lulls in it, but still a good watch. Will I watch it every time it's on? Yeah, I turn it on. I usually catch it in like the middle of something like that. Oh, Mr. Mom is on. I'll watch that. So all right, that number 13 on the list. Yeah, all right, not bad. A Christmas Story. Is it really yeah, I guess it is a comedy. This is one of them gray area movies. It's a family movie. Funniest parts in it, yeah, okay. The Bumbus Hounds, wearing the whole rabbit ear thing from the aunt, going to see Santa, and stuff like that. When Farkas gets his tongue stuck to the pole. Number 12 on the top comedy list, though? I can't remember ever sitting there and really laughing hard at A Christmas Story. Yeah, I would move it down on the list. Definitely, it's not nearly as funny as Vacation. So, cuckoo list. The Toy. Richard Pryor and that little kid that was in Kidco. Great movie. Richard Pryor had so much going for him. I miss Richard Pryor. I liked him a lot, and that guy went through some crazy shit in the 70s and 80s, lighting himself on fire, the drug abuse, all of that crap. But nobody can deny how special of a comedian Richard Pryor was, especially on the silver screen. His work with Gene Wilder, epic. And in fact, I don't think I've seen as good of a dynamic on screen that Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder had together. And Gene Wilder, who went on to retire pretty much after doing the movies with Richard Pryor because he didn't like the way Hollywood was going. Can you blame the guy, honestly? Not at all. Richard Pryor turned down a couple of roles because he was in a drug-induced or whatever. He was a little hard to work with when he hit his fame. But this particular movie, Jackie Gleason playing the father of the kid, the kind of plantation owner guy. What an unbelievable cast. Richard Pryor and Jackie Gleason. What an unbelievable duo. Highly recommend watching it if you've never seen it. I think, again, most have. Most of these movies, they've been around for 30 years. You've seen them by now. But The Toy was a great movie. I enjoyed that one. Hard chuckles in it. I think it was a consistent, nice watch. You know, a kind of cheery watch to watch. There wasn't really any moments in it that I busted a gut. Airplane 2. The Zucker Brothers. Both Airplane movies, and I'm sure the other one is on this list. If it's not in the top 3, I am going to write a stern letter to IMDb. The Airplane movies are probably, what do they? I don't know what they call, like little quips in the movies. How it would go from like quip to quip to quip to quip. The best of all time. The best. Every little segment of those movies, both Airplane movies, have so many chuckles in it. From who's playing the part in Airplane 2, you had William Shatner being the air traffic controller on the moon. Come on! These lights are blinking and flashing and flashing and blinking. Why don't somebody make it stop? See how you remember that? Sorry, I remember that. You know the part. It's hilarious. They took the little, come on, when they try to get him on the video thing, or he's looking through the scope and he sees the Enterprise fly by, and he's like, little things like that. Brilliance by the Zucker brothers. Really. I love both airplanes. Watch them every damn time they're on. Great movies. Definitely top 10 comedies. And I have a funny feeling Airplane 1, it better be number 1. I didn't look at the list, but it better be. 48 Hours. Oh, this is a rough one. This should definitely not be top 10. Good movie, especially the original one, which this is. What year did that come out? 82. Yeah, Eddie Murphy, Nick Nolte. Everybody knows the movie. Everybody's seen it. Really, where did you laugh your ass off at any part in that movie? I'm thinking. When he's talking about the Porsche and how much pussy he got because of that Porsche? No. I don't know. How is it top 10? It's a good movie. I don't think it's a comedy. I guess, well, partly a comedy. I don't know. This one's befuddling me why it's in the top 10. I'd listed in the top 20 movies of the 80s, but not in the comedy realm. I guess because Eddie Murphy was, the big time comedian at the time, at the peak of his fame. But no, shouldn't be number 9 of all things. Oh, one of my favorite of all time. I love Rodney Dangerfield. I go on YouTube and watch everything Dangerfield. Let's take his movies aside for a second. Whenever he was on Johnny Carson, he was always a gas. Made Johnny Carson crack up. The whole no respect bit that went on for 20 years. And he got so big, he had many comedy clubs that he owned. He had Dangerfields in the city. I'm sure he had some out in California. The Dangerfield HBO specials, comedy specials. I remember the first one that I had saw from Dangerfields was Andrew Dice Clay's first television appearance. And I believe it was on the same show. It was Dice, Roseanne Barr, Bob Nelson. Bob Nelson, the whole football thing, was at Dangerfield. So Rodney Dangerfield was an icon of comedy. An icon. And this movie, Easy Money, with a very young, very pretty Jennifer Jason Leigh, and Joe Pesci. Young Joe Pesci in a comedic role. He played who am I? I'm the guy that put the bathrooms in this joint. What's his name? Nicky. Is it Nicky? Yeah, Nicky. He was the plumber. I remember they had to go pick up the wedding cake, and it's sliding behind in the van, and Nicky's smoking a joint while driving. They're trying to find something to eat at 3 a.m. This movie is a goddamn comedy. I love it. I laugh at it. A lot of parts that you're gonna chuckle and you're gonna really laugh at. So if you've never seen Easy Money, you have to see it. It's a Hola Capuleri. I want my wife back. Come on. It's such a great flick. I have it on my Plex. We watch it. There's a particular scene where and I forget the name of the guy. The actor, he was in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He played the guy who brought the pizza to Spicoli in Mr. Hand's class. Everybody knows his face. He's got the little mustache in this. So he's climbing into the Capuletti's household to see his wife, who they had a fight on the wedding night, whatever. He's climbing in the bathroom. This is one part that my wife and I just fucking laugh every time it's on. Every time. And it's stupid, but we laugh. So they're climbing in the window of the bathroom, which is on the second floor of the house. And it's all dark, and he falls coming in the window. And previous to this, he's like, I know this house like the back of my hand. He falls in the window, and his hand goes in the toilet, and the guy he's climbing in was like, "What happened?" He was like, "The back of my hand is stuck in the toilet." Ah! We just fucking die laughing. It's fucking hilarious. Your homework, if you haven't seen it, is to watch Easy Money. Fucking great movie. Love it. All right, so number 8, I'm with that. Definitely top 10. All right, number 7, Stripes. A classic. I can't tell you how many times that Anthony and I will quote this in some way, shape, or form. Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, John Candy, Dan Larroquette, and Sergeant Hulka. I mean, the guy who played Sergeant Hulka just quoted for years on so many things. Sergeant Hulka's Big Toe. A consistent, funny movie from front to back. Bill Murray did an awesome job in it. Hal Ramis did an awesome job in it. PJ Souls, she played one of the MPs. Oh, and a very young Sean Young. You know, before she let her vag out in No Way Out, was in Stripes. Definitely belongs in the top 10. One of my all-time favorites. Fucking hilarious movie. And a simple part that we quote, this is how you can take a piece of a comedy movie and it goes into your life and you use it all the time. There's a scene where Dan Larroquette, who's the goofy major, and he's walking back to his Jeep, and there's a pipe sticking out of the ground, and he trips over it, and he looks down at it and he goes, "Have that removed, Corporal." Anytime in the past 30 years that I've tripped, Anthony's tripped, we talk about it all the time, that's what we say. "Oh, have that removed." It might be silly and stupid, but that's what we do. Those pop culture references that you just flow into your everyday life, it's hilarious. See Stripes, I'm sure you've seen it. It's fucking great. Great movie. So what is number 6? The original Cannonball Run. All right, we talked about it, so we're going to skip past it, but again, my all-time favorite movie as a kid. You know, people who I didn't know who the hell Burt Reynolds was and Sammy Davis Jr. was. I had no idea. But the cars, the Ferrari, the Hawaiian Tropic car, the truck with the Trans Am Eagle on it, was the best as a kid. Used to be on HBO all the time. All right, top 5. Should have a drum roll. Smokey and the Bandit 2. Oh, no. No. Now, I'm wondering if Smokey and the Bandit 1 is going to be before this. Smokey and the Bandit 2 was okay, but it was a sequel. You're telling me that you think Smokey and the Bandit 2 was funnier than Stripes? Or Easy Money? No fucking way. Oh my God. Oh, this list is now bullshit. No. This is the movie where they had to... The first movie, Smokey and the Bandit, they had to get the beer from Texarkana to... where was it? Atlanta or something. Bootlegging, that whole thing. Great premise. This one, they had to transport an elephant who wound up being pregnant to... I don't know, something with the Enos brothers. It was just bad. There was not a single moment in this movie that I could say that I really laughed over. Trying to think. Dom DeLuise played a doctor that they got out of at a gas stop. He was in an ambulance, and the ambulance left him there, and they wanted the doctor to check out the elephant, and there was a little funny part there, but more of a type thing. Top 5? No. Damn. Oh, that's a shame. No. Number 4, 9 to 5. Good, funny movie. This one deserves it. And being it was really a chick flick of the 80s, Dolly Parton, Lily Tomlin, Jane Fonda, with the asshole boss played by Dabney Coleman. Good flick. Had some funny parts to it. Judy Burnley in the copy room, papers flying all over the place. Not bad. I like this flick. I would list it in the top 10 of the 80s. I don't think there's any parts that were really fucking gut busting in it. I don't think there were. Sort of like a Mr. Mom type flick. It was kind of family oriented. Definitely made from the ladies' perspective because it was the three ladies, the three women who were working in this office environment with the, how'd they call Dabney Coleman? A lying, egotistical bigot. I'm missing some words in there because it was longer, but he played a good role. I like Dabney Coleman. He was a good actor. He played a lot of roles in a lot of movies. And he played a good Mr. Hart. He did. He was a bastard. So yeah, I'd put this one in the top 10 definitely. But again, not a gut buster, but a good flick. Number 3. All right, the 2 movies past this better be fucking all time. Because Caddyshack is number 3. I would have put it in the top 2. Perhaps number 1. Well, not as funny as Airplane. It has to be up there. But do we really need to even mention Caddyshack? If you've watched any of our golf streams, the amount of Caddyshack references in the chat or by us on camera can never be stopped. Silly thing about Caddyshack, and maybe you do, maybe you don't know this. So Caddyshack was originally really a Chevy Chase movie. Again, this was made, 80. So this was Caddyshack, Chevy Chase right at the peak. He was still in SNL, I believe, in 1980. This was the one that thrust him into his actor world on the silver screen. But it was originally really supposed to be a movie around his character and more so the actual caddies. But Bill Murray's character came in and wreck-shopped Carl Spackler, one of the greatest non-title roles of a movie ever. He owned that flick. Anytime that he's on, you fucking smile. What a great job by Bill Murray playing it. And I think that kind of pissed Chevy Chase off a little bit. Because I think he looked at it like this was his baby. And remember, him and Bill Murray did not get along and actually had a fist fight on the set of Saturday Night Live in the late 70s. That the story goes, at least by Chevy Chase's account, that John Belushi got in the middle of it and kind of stopped the two from fisticuffs, which is very interesting. It's on YouTube. You can see Chevy Chase has talked about it quite a lot. And look, people did not like Chevy Chase for a long time. Now I think people are kind of softening on him and tolerating he's so old now. But there was a lot of talk back in the 90s of how he was a complete jerk-off to work with. So I'm sure during the filming of this, with Bill Murray taking over the fucking, the movie, he was probably pretty pissed off. But an all-time great flick. Number 2, The Blues Brothers. John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd, obviously. Not even talking about the sequels. Never watched them. Good movie. Funny. A lot of stars in it. Aretha Franklin. A lot of famous musician stars in it. I think this movie has a really cult comedy following, which, look, it belongs in the top 10. Number 2, I guess you could put it there. There's a lot of stuff surrounding it. The whole SNL skit. Yeah, look, the car chase scene is one of the best and funniest car chase scenes of all time. Driving through the mall. You've seen it a billion times. I'm sure Mel, who lives in Chicago, has probably been to that mall a billion times. And that as soon as he walks in, that theme song pops into his head. So, yeah, I can see that one. Now, what is number 1? I'm warning you right now. If it's not Airplane, there's going to be a problem. Yeah, okay. There you go. I agree with the number 1. We said it before. Airplane, one of the best comedies of all time. What did it get rating? A 7.7 rating. Wow, Blues Brothers got a 7.9, actually higher than Airplane. I don't agree with that. I think the Blues Brothers, if you really, really love that movie, you love that comedy, that skit from SNL, it resonates with you a lot. You could like it more than Airplane, but come on, Airplane. The girl. I take my coffee black, like my men. Come on. You know they were laughing their balls off when they wrote that. Oh, just it's fucking great. Oh. So while we're on the subject of movies here, I wanna play something that I was watching last night and I just laughed over. Anthony brought this up a while ago. One of the movies that we've watched that we talk about a lot and we laugh over. John Wayne. Everybody knows John Wayne, the old rough and tough cowboy, did a movie called Brannigan back in the late 70s, 1975, actually, the year I was born. And John Wayne was always the Americano actor, the rough and tough, Pilgrim, it's been drawn out in movies for years. He was the cowboy. The cowboy before Clint Eastwood was John Wayne. John Wayne handed it off to Clint Eastwood and he ran with it. He was the de facto standard of Westerns back in his era, which I guess was the 50s and early 60s, I guess, was John Wayne. So in the 70s, he was getting older and he did this movie, Brannigan, where he played a cop that had to go to Britain. And this fight scene, it's a bar fight scene, as you see it on the screen here. We're gonna look at this. Has to be one of the worst fight bar scenes in movie history. There's so much bullshit going on in this. We gotta start watching this. So it's 4 minutes long. We'll go through most of it. Let's see here. Make sure my sound is up. All right, there's Brannigan. Let's look at old John Wayne there on the left. Look at him. He's still looking good. A little older. Got the hair going. You're not used to seeing him without a cowboy hat. And he's walking into this. He got this piano playing like a saloon. But they're going to use, we were speaking Airplane a minute ago, one of the things that Airplane used and took it to a new level. Started, because this was 5 years before Airplane was made.
Mind if I butt in, partner? It's a free country.
It doesn't even sound like, it sounded like that was audio dubbed after. I didn't see his mouth move a lot, so I'm thinking that John Wayne probably blew most of his lines, or didn't know most of his lines, and this is, oh my.
All right, Navy? Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's pleasant country.
I wouldn't argue with that.
Last time I was here, people were getting bombed a different way.
All right, oh, look at old 70s Britain. Everybody dressed so proper.
Have some service here. The man's dying of thirst.
All right, darling, what do you want?
Well, I want some Guinness. How about you?
So I believe the guy to his right is his
Good enough, thanks.
partner or second in command or whatever.
You should know.
Guy that's helping over there in UK.
Well, partner, cheers. Wait a minute, friend.
All right, so
We're having...
they're drinking that dark ale, and he's got that, well, partner. He had to bring that out from the Western movies. The guy has only known one type of movie in his career. Typecast like all fuck. Oh, sorry. So, it's going to kick off here in a second. And you have to see this movie just from the sheer crappiness of it, but...
A drink.
Drexel, I'd like a few words with you. Let's step outside, shall we?
Scotland Yard, can't you smell it?
Is it illegal to have a drink?
May I suggest, sir, that you keep out of this? This is strictly police business.
Oh, tell him to show you his badge.
Drexel, I said outside. Now, come
Uh-oh.
That cuts it.
There it starts. Okay. So, all right. So John Wayne just straight out punched this guy in the face. It's John Wayne. He's a lot bigger than this guy. The guy kind of just like, it's almost like he slapped him. Like, what? He didn't exactly fall to the floor. And John Wayne wound up and, let's see this again.
That cuts it.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
It's kicking off. Now, I want you to watch for something. Because this makes me laugh every fucking time I see it. There is a woman behind the bar, the bartender. For some reason, all she does in this entire scene is fucking scream. Like, bah! I can't. I don't know why. Maybe you can tell me. I don't know. You're going to see her a couple of times.
What's the idea?
Who the hell started it?
What? Was that a jab? This is a bar fight. He's like sparring. It's a jab in a bar fight.
What's the idea?
Who the hell started it? Awfully sorry.
Oh, there she is. All right, so her big thing was save the booze. Take the booze and run off with it. Okay. All right. Here's where one of the comedy parts start when I talked about Airplane. Here comes the inevitable jukebox.
And I love you so.
It changes music every time you hear it. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is 1975. That jukebox is spinning 45 records. So, if you landed on it, how the fuck did the other record fall down, the needle, which was already playing, hit it to start playing another song? Right? Wasn't no CDs. There ain't no MP3 up in that bitch. So, yeah, that's... You remember in the Airplane, the whole Staying Alive scene when it hit the... Yeah, you remember it. Oh, an attempted body slam. Boy, that table broke awfully easy. Didn't it? That let's see again. The legs on that thing. This is WWE style equipment in this bar. Chairs that are cut so that they just break right over your back. The thing fell over before he even landed on it. What the fuck was that? Was that a backhand? A karate chop? What? Back up. Oh my god. I love it. Hassan chop. Fuck, god damn it. He hits the guy with the back of his hand. He barely moved. And the guy jumped up and landed on the bar. Oh god, I love it. I gotta see it again. I might replay this 5 times. Come on. Oh. If there was a choreographer for this scene, I hope he stood there proud of what he did, because this is so goddamn funny. Let me see. He's winding up for this guy. I gotta see it again. That guy wound up and hit. Oh, look, we're English boxing. Oh, the old broken. We're in the cartoons now. Now, this banister that's going to break. I should be able to slow it down, but I won't. But this thing was so cut to break. Let's see. Up, starts going there. Yep. There it goes. Yep. Because if this was a banister in your home, for example, and this thing was, across that area, your ass would have flipped over it. It would not have broken like this. So, pre-planning. Got to make it look better. Rough and tough. This is Brannigan. Oh, this guy just looking at... Oh, now they went and broke it. Oh, there she is again. Hang on. Look, there she is. Check out the bartender. She's losing her fucking gourd. Let's see her scream. I love it. Somebody wings a glass at her, and all she... God damn it. Oh, my God. This was... I don't know if this was supposed to be a comedy, Brannigan. I don't think it was supposed to be. I think it was supposed to be kind of a more serious type, cop action flick. This is one of the funniest fucking scenes I've ever seen. Oh, right in the pole. Oh, but he's fine now. Oh, go back. That chair. Where is that chair? Let's see. Look at this thing. This thing was held together by Elmer's glue. What chair are you going to pick up in a bar? Go to any bar. Pick up a chair. Stool, anything. Hit somebody over the back with it. What the fuck chair is going to explode like this? It's cardboard.
Oh, Mike, have you got it?
Seems like we got Gwendolyn Rook, female.
Everything's going crazy around this world, this guy, and he's just sitting there. Oh, right here, chap. I'm going to talk to you about this case, old boy. Nobody hitting him, not yet. This scene is so great. It's so great. When I watched this for the first time, in sheer amazement, and thanks to the boss, thanks to Anthony for telling me about this movie, because I would have never seen it, never even heard of it. I watched this one night. I was fucking rolling at some of the bullshit in this movie. How bad it is. There was a car chase scene that I should have showed you with this, honestly, but this is fucking great.
Caucasian, age 26.
What? Okay, now she's screaming for no reason. Can I get it? Where's look at her. A blood-curdling, shrieking scream. I can't. I can watch it over and over and over again.
Age 26. The subject resides
So, wait a minute.
Balham.
She's screaming. Where's the fighting? Look around. The people in the background are just standing there. And she's... I don't know.
I'm sorry, lady. If I were you, I'd... Huh? Oh.
Okay. This is number one right here. What you're about to witness is not only going to blow your mind, it's going to defy probably every law of science, gravity, everything. Einstein would look at this and would just be bright-eyed, have a pad, and try to figure out what's about to happen. So many movies over the years, you have had the guy get on top of the bar. Superman. Clark Kent throws him down the bar. He lands on the pinball machine, wipes out all the food that's on the bar, whatever. Brannigan, who's lefty, by the way, apparently, is about to hit this poor gentleman with what I would consider a Roman Reigns super punch. He's winding up. You see him cocking that thing back. And I want you to explain this to me. Ready?
And has...
What? My brain full of fuck. go back. Because Brannigan... Where is it? Where is the guy right here? Where is it? Did I miss it? I think it's here. There he goes. Let's look at the length of this bar here for a second. Let's break it down. That bar looks to be about... it's at least 10, 12, maybe 15 feet long. Brannigan, who wound up with that left hand, punched this guy in the face, somehow managed to open up a black hole at the end of the bar, which apparently sucked this gentleman across the bar, knocking everything over, and off the end of the bar. This is one of the greatest punches in movie history. I'll watch it again.
Oh.
And has act.
I can't say anything. It is... I'm gonna watch it one more time. I can't.
I'm sorry, lady. If I were you, I'd... Huh? Oh.
And has.
I'd love to have seen the behind the scenes of this, where they had at least probably 3 guys with a string rope tied to this guy's belt buckle. And on cue, they are yanking that bitch as hard as they can to make him apparently fly down this bar and land on the floor. Spectacular. These are the things that you're on YouTube and you watch and you come across, and, you know, for the show, I click it and hit favorite, and I just sit here for 5 minutes like this. Really? Brannigan,
Access
baby.
to blueprints and charts for telephone and sewage conduits
That guy still hasn't got hit. Oh, another chair.
under Piccadilly Circus.
This place is getting kind of unfriendly.
Now, all right, John Wayne is a tough individual. Big guy. Look at him there. But if somebody, especially in this environment where there's glass flying everywhere and chairs apparently breaking and people falling off of balconies, you get punched squarely in the face, I don't think you're going to land down on a chair and be, boy, this place is getting kind of unfriendly.
This place is getting kind of unfriendly.
You're right.
Where are we going?
Let's go to my place and have a drink.
Didn't phase him at all. Oh, another. I can't. Guy just squarely punched him right in the jaw, and he blew it off like it was nothing. This is Vince McMahon was obviously directing this, and these guys are not playing it over for each other. Unbelievable.
You all right? Come on, partner. We better get out of here.
Give me that bottle of liquor.
The Yanks got our pigeon, as far as I can see.
So, okay. That's pretty much the end of it, I think. I don't think it's anything else. Yeah, so that's Brannigan's fight scene. I had to play it. I had to share it with you all. It's too goddamn funny. That bar, I could watch that until the cows come home. Wow. Funny stuff there. While we're doing this, let's talk about another. Well, while we're on the YouTube rabbit hole thing, I've been getting some people that have been sending me some show topics to watch. I appreciate all of them. Yeah, you can send it to the email I'll show at the end of the show. One of the ones that I've been watching also, and I got this from the Urban Explorer hole, abandoned finds. So this actually started. You know what? I should actually play this one first. There are these bunch of car mechanics, truck mechanics on YouTube who go around the country and find these old abandoned vehicles that haven't moved in years. And you'll see them wherever you are, wherever you're living, wherever you're watching this. You know, somewhere in your neighborhood, you've seen a car, a truck, an RV, a Winnebago, something that's been sitting somewhere for 20 years plus, hasn't been touched. It's all fucking green, shit's growing all over the place. What fascinates me about these people that you're going to watch here in a second, and this is just one of thousands of these videos on YouTube, is these guys know auto mechanics, diesel mechanics, whatever. They find these trucks and they get these trucks running and drivable when they haven't moved in 50 years. They're halfway buried in the ground. This one I just found in particular just this morning because it popped in my brain. I wanted to show you what they kind of do just to get to these trucks. Being the whole urban exploration thing, again, it's a point of decay. You see the truck. Most of you would even be afraid, I would, to go inside the goddamn thing. Who knows what's living in these fucking things? They're not exactly airtight. You got bees, you got wasps, you got snakes, you got all kinds of fucking spiders. So if you're not a insect aficionado, you ain't gonna be anywhere near this thing. But so this gentleman here.
Welcome back to the channel. We're gonna dig this old Freightliner out today.
A Freightliner.
I got
which
Jacob here. He's gonna
cab
be
of an
the
18-wheeler
saw man
truck
today.
Whoa.
I'm just going to be the safety man in case he cuts his leg off. Or
you
something.
can't even see
I'll
the
get
truck.
my belt on. I'll tourniquet and we'll get him to the local hospital. I'm just kidding. Don't know what year it is. Don't even know the models of these old
oh, there you see it.
cab overs. Don't
This
know what
thing
you call it. I
hasn't-
know the FLD
nobody's
was
touched this
cab,
thing.
I mean the conventionals.
God knows how long.
I think this thing was parked because it had a head gasket blown, but you can tell by the size of that one, which is really an anti-theft device because you're not going to drive it out of here with that tree right there in the middle.
The tree
looks
has
like they
grown
borrowed the fifth wheel
through the
plate
truck.
off of it. I'm charting around.
Obviously,
this.
he's a
snaky
southern gentleman.
areas.
It's down south somewhere. He is going
I'm carrying
to
y'all with
dig
me on the
this
first time
truck
I've been on this side
out
of the truck.
of this thing and work on
That's
it
far as we're
to
going.
get it running. I find this amazing.
Well, we're going to cut some of these trees out of the way and see what's in store for us. Let's see what we can get.
Now, again, you're living across America, wherever you're watching this from. There are cars and vehicles like this all over the place. You know, we call them barn finds, which we were going to. I'll show you after this, the one I showed you before. And barn finds usually are somebody who's got a car or truck or something parked in a garage or a barn, and it's been there for years, and you take it out from a cover, and you're like, oh my God, it's a great looking car. This is something else. This is a forgotten. If this guy didn't do this video, this truck would still be sitting there, basically to be consumed by the earth. Because that's what it's doing. It's sinking into the ground. It's rotting away. And eventually it'll just crumble. And down there in the south, where you've got a lot of this land and stuff available to you to do this, can't really do this here in New York because there's nowhere that you get overgrown brush and stuff like this here. But down there, you're literally watching the earth swallow a diesel truck. Fascinating. So we're going to skip ahead a little bit and look at this gentleman here and look at he's doing. Look at him. Now, the sheer amount of work that this guy has got to put in just to get to this truck and cut all this crap down, I'm out. Oops. Yeah, I'm not, I ain't doing this. Clear all that shit away, then let's look at the truck.
I got it.
Look at the sheer amount of crap that this guy is getting just to get to the truck.
Well,
Oh, it's a little doggy.
we getting on into it. That thing looks pretty good right there.
Yeah, considering, honestly, that it was sitting for as long as it has in all that
tremors
brush,
for those.
I'm surprised it's
Yeah.
not completely green.
Be a lot easier.
Clear a path for the driver.
All right.
Let's see. Again, look at
Just cut it right
look
there.
at the trees
Cut it right here.
growing through
Up top,
the
up
truck.
top. Okay.
No tire on that front. Look at how big that cab is. That's an old school 70s, probably early 70s cab, big flat front, where you're basically driving that thing and your face is like sitting on the ground in front of the truck because there's no nose in front of you as you're driving it. Boy, I hope he paid this guy well. Let's get to the point where he gets up to the side here.
It looks like some kind of throttle cable they just got laid there from
Now, again,
time past.
would you just go up to this thing and open the door, the cab door, to see what's inside of it? I'd be scared. I don't know what the fuck is going to jump out of this thing.
Have to have that tree down to get the cab to come over. That's for sure.
I like this guy. He's delegating good responsibility.
For the time being.
Yeah, gotta have that
move it it
tree over there.
The,
We get the cab over and
tires
go over
on
there
it. That'd
and
give us a little
cut
shade.
that tree down. See what we else got to do.
But I tell you what, this is dangerous work when your old man walking around. You be stumbling over old parts and everything else. Pick your
Oh, no
feet
tire
up,
on that
Robin.
front either, so
Pick
it's
your
tireless.
feet up. Let's see if we can tell what the engine is. Take a quick gander. Oh yeah, it's the Cummins.
Now, I've always had a thing for anybody who can work with their hands. I learned computers kind of an early age, and I've taught myself everything I know about computers. Same way with auto mechanics. Working with your hands. Such respect for anybody who can take this fucking disaster that you're looking at and actually make it run again and make it drive again. I don't think he actually drives this out of this video, but he does work on it or whatever, try to get it started, which is amazing. I do little minor work on my cars over the years. I don't really know that much about automotives. I know the basics, and I'm not afraid to go into the engine to try to do something, but I'm definitely not an auto mechanic type guy. But this is working on it in a fucking 2,000 degree heat down there. God knows what's underneath this thing.
Probably gonna start right up.
He thinks.
That's a good stainless steel flex pipe. It ain't rusted out. Maybe it's not sitting there and got stuck. But it's for sale. I'll say that more than one time.
Hey,
This thing
anybody
is
need a
for
truck?
sale if somebody's into these trucks, going to restore them or need some parts off of it for one of their old ones they are restoring. So far, the cab looks like it's in good shape. We're gonna cut a little bit more bushes.
Open up that side door.
Yes, that's gonna open.
Yeah, I'd open it up slow too. Now here's interesting.
Passenger were sitting around backwards.
The passenger seat is facing the wrong direction. Now, I don't know if that's like that for a reason. I'm guessing that it turns around so you can get into behind it and you got some storage and stuff in there. Because I can't see you, it's like riding on a train going backwards. I don't see why that would be that way.
Oh boy. Well,
I give this guy some balls. I wouldn't be sticking my nose into that thing.
I'll go see if I can open the other side.
yeah. Watch for critters. You can tell the rats
Yeah.
has took some of the
Thank you.
styrofoam
Watch
out.
for critters.
There you
Oh, yeah.
go. Yeah, that's
You
not-
know there'd be some
that's
critters
not
up
where
in
that's
there.
supposed to be.
But this guy's out of his mind. Listen to them beer cans.
I think the door was locked.
Okay.
Maybe.
Oh, somebody locked the door.
I guess the rats had it to keep out the predators that.
So this guy basically starts working on this truck.
Right
And-
there,
and-
Jacob. This is a FLT.
Yeah, I see.
What's the numbers behind it?
866 4T.
It's
All
got
right,
all its
is that
papers
right?
and everything.
FLT 86.
Yeah, look at the dash. The dash is still in amazing shape.
570.
Considering that this truck was sitting, now none of the glass is broken. I've seen some of these guys go on some of these trucks, and there's like no dashboard left. It's been rotted away. They got to start it with touching wires together. But again, you watch these videos, and those videos that show up on the right side of YouTube, and you just follow that YouTube rabbit hole, and you'd be amazed at the sheer amount of trucks, cars, all this abandoned crap that's sitting on the side of the road somewhere that hasn't moved in decades. I know one here on Long Island, actually, and I see it every time. When we go apple picking, which is usually in October, we go up to a town called Wading River. There's an auto shop. I don't even know if it's there anymore per se, but the building is there. In this particular auto shop, there are a couple of really, really old Cadillacs. Two of them in particular. One has got to be probably 1960, 62 caddy. Big boat caddy. Rusty. Looks like nobody has opened the door in 30 years. Glass is all green and disgusting. And there's an older car next to it, like an old Ford or something, kind of those loopy old cars. And we pass it every year. Now, somebody had moved it a couple years ago because it was on the side of the building. Now it's kind of in the front of the building. And there's nothing else around it. The place itself looks abandoned. But it fascinates me. I was like, oh my God, I would have loved to see who moved that car. They didn't start it. They either pushed it or they used a wrecker or a tow truck to move it. But this thing has been sitting there, rotting away for probably earliest 30 years, I'd say. It was probably the guy who owned the shop, and it's just sitting there. And you watch it every year just decay a little more and a little more. Now, it's sitting on concrete, so it ain't being swallowed into the earth. And things aren't growing around it. But just the weather outside, the rain, the snow, beating the shit out of the body. It's just rusting away. Every year, it looks like something is a little more missing. And these trucks, like this guy is doing now, and these cars and stuff that these guys find, how they get it started is amazing, first off. Look, some of these trucks, cars were abandoned in good running order. All they needed was some gas and some start right up. But others, like this fucking behemoth, how you get this thing running, the sheer rust. Try to get a bolt off of this thing. You'll snap the bolt. It's got to be rusted solid. Even though the cab and stuff looks like in good shape. It's amazing to me. It's a talent. It really is. I wish I was able to do this.
1,000.
Oh yeah, this thing was just getting broke in.
695.
So it doesn't have that many miles on it. And look,
cassette
the inside of the cab,
radio.
considering
I'm
this
sure
truck was
a
sitting
lot of
under
folks
brush
don't
for
know
so
what
long.
that is. I'm sure Jacob has never operated one of those.
I know what they
Oh,
are.
wow. It's a cassette player.
I haven't saying you hadn't seen it, but that was
It
way
looks
before your
really
time.
good shape.
But it's not really terrible shape. Can you pan back there in the sleeper and the cab?
Oh, look at the little sleeper. Don't you want to just get on that mattress and curl up and snuggle?
Maybe it works. Maybe it works for both of y'all. You're actually sitting on the.
So yeah, this guy does his thing.
See what it'll do.
And I'll just
I
fast
believe they
forward
took
to-
the plug out of
He
the.
actually gets the cab up. So this is one of those trucks where the cab flips
It's
up
something,
and the
got it.
engine's underneath the cab.
That's for sure.
And he's got his truck worth of tools. And here he is working to get this.
And
Look
a
at this
safety
thing.
lock. But there's nothing holding it but that cylinder itself. I'm gonna see if I can loosen up those lines and see if that'll make it kind of do what we want it to do. All right.
And look, you got also good camera work on these videos. So, you know, you got a guy that's just sitting there, ain't doing shit, and just holding the phone or holding what kind of camera that he's viewing this on.
Well, you'd have to cut way deeper.
They really do a good job.
But it looked like
This guy is, his channel's called
now it looks like
Don't Be Willie.
Dontbewily.
Got about 60,000 subscribers. And you can see why. This is some interesting shit.
Probably better to be right here.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I don't think he gets this started.
In case something shit.
I think it was
I
water.
think he's
Under
working on it for a while.
the cab. It's not in that bad a shape, really. But I'll ask him if it's got a starter. I don't mind slapping a starter back on there to see if it's locked up.
Oh, so it's got no starter in it,
They are in
which
this
is why he
video.
didn't get it running.
That's still pretty neat the way that works. After all these years, something simple as that right there works so well. I was
Amazing. Amazing that what these guys do. And this only spawned because of the internet. If there was no internet, that truck would still be sitting there. Nobody would have came up with the idea of going there and showing this off. And it would have eventually been swallowed by the earth. But this is what the internet does. So the video I wanted beforehand, this one here. This is a barn find. So this guy finds in this garage, what? What do you think that car is right there? You see it's a little red car. What do you think it is? How about
How did we do it? I don't know, but ladies and gentlemen, we found an
fucking
abandoned
Ferrari.
Ferrari. A piece of Italian art left to sit in this garage untouched for the last 28 years.
I can't believe that we found this. This is ridiculous. For the first time ever on our channel, we have a real life Ferrari. I can't believe I'm looking right now at a barn find Ferrari 512 BB. And what makes this...
So you bought a Ferrari. Now that looks to be an early 80s Ferrari. Probably 81, 82. You threw it in your garage and you haven't touched it since. Bullshit? Obviously not. I mean, you can't look at that car and make it dirty like that. This car has been sitting. So it's a Ferrari 512 BB. And it's been sitting for 28 years. Now, these Ferraris, you know, people think Ferrari, oh my God, $1 million car. No. These Ferraris now, I've seen Ferraris of this era, which is the Magnum PI Ferrari. I've seen them for in between 20 and 30,000 used, but in good shape. Not, you know, 150, 160,000.
car even more fitting, aside from the fact that we found it, is that I literally just touched
here's
down
the guy
from a
that
family
owned
vacation.
it,
Car come from and
or owns it.
how long has it been in this garage?
It actually was bought at the Ed Weaver auction in Dalton, Georgia, and he had 300 cars, trucks, anything with wheels that ran. And I went because he had 6 Lamborghini Miuras. And I figured out of 6,
Why not?
I'm bound to find my liking. So I had my son and my nephew drive throughout the night, and I got my bidder's pass and my letter from the bank of my limits, and I purchased 2 cars, the Lamborghini Miura and the Ferrari Berlinetta Boxer.
Nuts.
And the reason I chose the Boxer was because it's the model before carbureted injection, because they're more throaty when they run. And the first one, the 360.
Reminds me of an ex. She was kind of throaty.
5 BB was faster, but not as refined.
So
And even
they
though
wind
it's
up
an
pulling this
81,
car out.
It got limited
Long
use.
story short here.
Garage.
You can actually see it here.
50,000 likes on this.
Look at this
It
thing.
helps us out a lot.
Oh my gosh. Dude, this is crazy.
Wow.
And with the car all loaded up in the trailer,
28
RJ had one more
years
thing he wanted to say
that
before we took
Ferrari's
it back
been
to our
sitting.
shop.
All right, so we have the Ferrari all loaded up, and we're about to head back to the shop. But before we go,
Now, I've sat in a Ferrari a couple times. I don't fit very well in a Ferrari. I've sat in newer ones, I've sat in older ones. One like this, I'll get in it, but it's really uncomfortable to drive. The steering wheel, which doesn't really move very well, is kind of like here. You know, as much as I loved that car when I was a kid, it was my favorite car, the old Cannonball Run Ferrari. I don't think I'd ever be really good in one.
We figured we would let you all know we are traveling around the United States looking for cars like these in this condition to film for the channel and make the greatest car detailing.
They get it back to their garage here.
Wow. Brian, you can get 2 of your WRXs for 1 engine rebuild. So now that we've gotten the back clamshell lifted up and taken a look at the engine, we wanted to take a look at the front because we're searching for a very specific tool in order to take these wheels off. These are the first wheels that we've ever worked with that are center locking, and I don't have any tools.
We'll call them knockoffs. Center lock's a little on the modern side, but yeah, you're not wrong.
Oh, so like you literally knock
them off. There should
they
be a
actually have to take
here
a mallet
that we're looking for
or hammer
that actually destroys
and
itself,
bang
so you do not
that
damage.
centerpiece.
So I shouldn't use like a rubber mallet. I need to use the hammer.
I'll recommend against it.
Okay.
And again, you want to grab on the wheel well.
It's crazy that the headlights don't move up with it. Look at that. Look at the little briefcase.
It does it.
It's got the Ferrari with this hammer, so. Dude, this feels so
wrong. You
wrong.
want to be doing that to a classic Ferrari? What?
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I would never have done that without you, John.
So long story short, on this guys, they take the car and they wash the shit out of it, and they buff it, and it goes from. Let me bring up the car itself here. Yeah, it goes from what you saw to this. Again, remember, 28 years this car's been sitting. Look at that thing. That's pretty hot. Wow. That's an amazing job from what that was. Looks brand new. Barn finds. I've seen all kinds of barn finds. Buick Grand Nationals, supercars. This is the only one I've ever seen somebody find a Ferrari. That thing's hot. Oh, it's a beautiful looking car. Nice to take a drive on a nice Saturday with that sucker, huh? Go right down the Ocean Parkway. 110 miles an hour, waving to all the dead chicks. So, all right, barn finds. We move on from barn finds and all that kind of stuff. Let me see. I'm going to hit 2 more things before we'll see if anybody wants to call real quickly. Actually, let's jump to this one. I actually have more than I wanted to even get to today. Where's my mouse? There it is. I got an email this week where is my mouse going? My mouse is freaking out. There it is. Where somebody had asked me about going to. Hey, what's going on with this thing? Oh, there's a hair over the sensor. Look at that. I wonder why I was freaking out. There it goes. Let's go here. All right. Good friend of ours, Rexy Kramer, had sent me a email asking me about Costco. Yes, I am a Costco aficionado. I was there yesterday. I go to Costco every Saturday, like clockwork. I would be there actually today if my wife was home. She'd be coming home tonight. There are many benefits to getting a Costco membership. Now, I don't want to make this a Costco commercial, but I just want to throw a few tips for those who are curious and have never gone to a Costco or know what it's about. Costco is a large wholesale store that you pay a membership for to be able to shop in. And you buy things there in bulk at discount wholesale prices. It's not for everyone. I recommend especially in this economy, if you have a family, you have kids, you can save a fuck ton of money at Costco. If you're married without kids, you could save a little money on certain things. If you're a single person, not worth it. The reason being that a lot of things that you buy in Costco, again, in bulk, are going to last you a long time. If you consume a lot of things, say like milk, eggs, peanut butter, stuff like that, oh, you'll save a lot. Yesterday, we usually buy 3 1-gallon containers of 2% milk here in my house. You go to a supermarket, that's usually over $4 for a gallon. Yesterday at Costco, I was amazed. $2.36 for a gallon of milk. The lowest price I've seen it in some years. Now, Costco also is run by a guy, their CEO, who is very family-oriented and very economically in tuned, let's call him. There is a food court inside of Costco. And they have not a lot of food. They have pizza, which is pretty good. Not as good as mom and pop pizza place, but it's good. Whole pie is $9.95. Whole pie from a pizza place over here on Long Island, $18.50, $19. So it's half the price. They have a foot-long hot dog and an unlimited refill drink for $8.50. It is the greatest lunch special on the motherfucking planet. Love it. Fat hot dog, too. Really good. So why I mention this is because the CEO of the company said the price of the hot dog is $1.50. Has been the same price since 1985. They've never raised the price of it. And he promises that he never will. He will cut corners in other places to make up for whatever. Because obviously the price of a hot dog today is going to be more than they're selling it for. So when you go through Costco, there are certain things that I recommend if you have a family. I just mentioned a couple. Milk, eggs, peanut butter, cereals, toilet paper, paper towels, soda, orange juice. Things like that, you will save so much fucking money buying if you use them in bulk. We're a household of 4 here. So let's take the peanut butter, for example. You go to the supermarket in this crazy inflation, a jar of peanut butter, Skippy, crunchy, whatever. It's just going to run you about $4.50, maybe $5, maybe even $5.50. Let's say $5.50, probably the last time I bought it in the supermarket. You go to Costco, you get a fucking container this big. 2 of them. Like this. Wrapped in plastic. Skippy. Chunky or creamy. So we're talking, brand name stuff, not generic Joe Blow peanut butter. For $10. It's literally probably 6 of the standard peanut butter containers. That the value that you were getting for your dollar there. Tremendous. And that shit lasts me here. I think I buy peanut butter twice a year. And I eat a lot of peanut butter. Peanut butter and jellies. Peanut butter and English muffin. Jelly. Always jelly. Dipping the chocolate in it. Yeah, that'll last you. Cereals. Everybody here goes shopping at the supermarket. Unless you're the boss. You know how fucking crazy expensive a box of cereal is today? Just go down the line and a fucking Rice Krispies is like $5 a box. It's puffed rice. Costco, you get a box fucking this big with 3 different kinds in it. Apple Jacks, Cocoa Puffs, whatever. They got Cinnamon Toast Crunch. They got Special K. Way cheaper than you're going to get it for in a supermarket. Again, savings. Cheese. We get the sliced American cheese, the Kraft 96 slices of sliced American cheese. Or as they like to call it, pasteurized cheese food. I mean, it's fucking cheese. I think it was $8 last we went there. Maybe even $9. Go up to a supermarket and go and buy yourself a little pack of Kraft cheese and see how much it is. that shit is costing you at least $4.50 for one pack. And then that one pack, you get 15 slices, I think. This is 96 slices of cheese for $9. It's Kraft. Name brand shit. Now, you have to be careful. Not everything is a bargain in Costco. They have great meats. Love their meats. That's where I got all my meats for the smoking and barbecue. They got great clothes, shoes. The things that I'll say aren't a bargain there, you won't save that much on like printer ink and stuff like that. Paper plates and stuff like that. Those kind of consumables are pretty expensive. No matter where you go, they're going to be expensive. So you got to be smart when you go to shop at Costco. It's not like you're going to go there and, well, first of all, you cannot walk into that store and not spend $100 minimum. Especially today. It was like that 10 years ago. Now, today, with inflation, $150, $200. So, just be smart when you go in there. If you shop in a supermarket, it doesn't have everything a supermarket has, but we use it pretty much as like our number one shopping resource because everything that we need is pretty much there. And we buy so much stuff in bulk, cereals, and here's one thing that irks me. Breads. You go to Costco, and I don't know why this is. They have a huge selection of bread. And they make their own bagels and pastries and cakes, and which are delicious. But for some reason, and I don't know why, if you buy bread from Costco, it comes, let's say you buy Myers sliced Italian white bread or honey wheat bread from Newman's, whatever. Again, name brand stuff. So you get 2 loaves of bread that are in their own sealing in another bag to keep it together that you take home. For some reason, 3 days after you buy that bread, it's moldy. Only from Costco. If I buy that same bread in a supermarket, and I don't put bread in the fridge because I hate cold bread. I have a bread box or leave it on the counter or whatever. It's wrapped up. My house is air conditioned. It's not humid at all. I take it from the supermarket and I put it on the counter. That shit'll last 2 weeks until the whole loaf is gone. Not moldy, nothing. But Costco, every time I buy bread from there, 3 days later, moldy. Now, Costco has the best return thing in the fucking world. You can eat half the loaf of bread and bring it back to Costco. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can. And they'll take it back or exchange it for whatever. You don't even need the damn receipt. They're just like, yeah, go get another one. Costco makes bagels. You have to buy 12 bagels. Big, nice. They make cinnamon raisin, plain, and sesame. And they come in a nice package, wrapped up. And I think it's $6.99. And you got to buy 2 6-packs. We love them for breakfast. I eat them in the morning, going to work, in the car. Jenny likes to have a little piece of that American cheese I mentioned on it. You take the bagel, you toast it, butter the top of it, and just put a slab of American cheese on it. And let the cheese melt on top. I call it a cheesy bagel. Fucking delicious. Lately, we've been buying the bagels. 3 days, moldy. I don't know. Now I'm looking into like vacuum sealed things that I can put bagels in. Shouldn't have to do that. Obviously, when you go to Costco, you're buying these things because they're going to be used really quickly. You got a business meeting to go to and you want bagels, go to Costco, inexpensive, get a bunch of bagels, whatever. Stuff's not meant to sit around, but it should last for more than 3 days. So that's that I got to kind of figure out. But yeah, I highly recommend if you are a family and you want to save money, a lot of money. I say bullshit. Go to Costco. The membership is $60 a year. Now, if you're like me and you use it a lot, you can get, there's a little tip for you. You get the executive membership, which is twice the cost. It's $120 a year. But you get 2% back on all your purchases that you use at Costco. So what happens at the end of the year, that 2% just paid for your Costco membership, and it winds up being free. Last year, I spent around $10,000 in Costco for the year. So my membership this year, completely free, and I get a check back, which goes to more moldy bagels. So a little tip for those who are curious about Costco. For Rex there, I hope he enjoys that. I'll just do this one real quick. We've got some good time left here. I love the Waffle House. There are no Waffle Houses in New York. And for good reason, because if there was, I would probably be dead by now. The Waffle House's simple menu and cheap cost and food, fucking fantastic. Anthony Bourdain went to the Waffle House, watch it on YouTube, and was amazed at the quality, the staff, everything of the Waffle House he went to. He went to it with another chef guy who was introducing him to the nuances of the Waffle House. Those of you who live down south, I'm very jealous of you. Every time I go down to North Carolina, one of the things I look forward to the best is my breakfast at the Waffle House, which you can have any time of the day. So these three Brits, old UK brothers, were down south, and they were introduced to the Waffle House. And, seeing people from other countries coming and learning about certain things like this, I find fascinating. Where's my sound? Oh, wait, no. Wait. How come I can't hear it? Hey, what happened to my sound? Oh, wait, did I? No, I didn't mute it. What the hell is happening to my sound? That's on. Play it again. Oh, it's playing. I just can't hear it. Oh, they didn't move it over.
Southern delicacies.
We almost came here for breakfast, but one of my friends.
All right, so these are the three Brits that came here. 3 o'clock in the morning, they're sitting in the Waffle House. So.
You need to come here after a drink or two.
Absolutely. We've had one or two, not too many.
Celebrating your birthday.
Absolutely. What a wonderful evening.
And this is the right way to do Waffle House?
100%. As you can see, the crew behind us.
So there is one of the best things about a Waffle House. You see them cooking the food right in front of you. White Castle does that over here. They rebuilt one in Limbrook, and the kitchen is wide open, right in front of you, right behind the counter. So you can see the food preparation. More restaurants should do this. Now, again, there was questions of, is it a insurance liability to cook in an open environment, whatever? No, bullshit. You go to a restaurant, you want to see somebody preparing your food. Because you don't know if they're dropping that shit, or like in the movie Waiting, they're dropping the French toast down in their shorts and squirreling and whatever and giving you a little extra bonus. Love seeing them cook at the Waffle House. And it's always, you see how clean it is. It ain't a sloppy mess like fucking Quiznos when I went there years ago and I saw a guy making a sandwich in front of me and there was more ham and meat and shit thrown everywhere. Be clean.
Ready to rock and roll. They're super excited about cooking big, bold, beautiful flavors. That's all we can ask for.
Let's do it. What are we ordering?
Can we fire off a hash brown bowl? We would like to.
Okay. Just a forewarning. It's going to move while you're watching this. It's starting to move now. Hash brown bowl. Now, hash browns are not extremely big in this area. Up in the Northeast, we have home fries, which is basically cubed potatoes with onion and pepper, and they're fried up to a golden brown. Hash brown is not that. It's like, you've had them in McDonald's, the hash brown things. It's like it's potato in a shape thing. Hash brown.
Cheesesteak with bacon and sausage gravy over the top. We want a Super Bowl. Hash brown bowl. flavors.
Slide out the hash
That's all we
brown.
can ask for.
Let's do it. What are we ordering?
Can we fire off a hash brown bowl? We would like the cheesesteak with bacon and sausage
Oh, God.
gravy over the top. And we want a Super Bowl. So we'll do the All-Star. Can we do grits, raisin toast with butter, please? Pecan waffle, please. On the second All-Star, can we go
2
with chocolate
All-Stars.
chip, hash browns? Let's do a triple order.
What is happening? You're saying literally
Oh my God.
so many words that I don't understand.
I'm speaking in code.
Heart.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna hurt so
Let's
bad.
see this
I
first
can't
dish that
leave
comes
at
out.
5 in the morning.
Oh, Lord.
Oh. I've never seen a finer thing in my life. I don't even know what the hell to do.
My
with
God.
this. Can I have some?
I'm going to leave this up for a second. Wait for it. 3, 2, 1. You're fucking hungry. Look at that plate. Oh, that gravy. That white, beautiful gravy. On top of the hash browns with bacon. What does bacon not make better? Oh. Welcome to America, guys.
Hot sauce and a gurney, please, ma'am. One gurney and a hot sauce, please.
After our barbecue meal, I didn't think I was ever going to be hungry again. I am now.
So they had
starving.
barbecue
This is a
earlier in the day.
Mountain of
Look at this
food.
beautifulness.
What is this?
All right, so you have hash browns, eggs, steak, bacon, sausage gravy. This is not a real thing. We just said this and then they made it. That's what I'm saying. It's not a real item. They don't do this. They just assembled everything. It's like the Avenger Bowl at the Waffle House. It's so hot again.
Wow, okay. You're just going all in.
Delicious.
All in. Is it not too hot?
No.
Okay.
Delicious.
Really?
My God.
That is beautiful.
Sweet baby Jesus.
So hang on. Can you clarify for me? That is the hash brown, right?
Yes.
The potato.
And it's crunchy.
Stringy bits.
Deliciousness. God, I'm gonna need help physically.
That has no right to be that good.
That is really good. It is honestly really, really
There's
good.
no, I would tell you if it sucked. Like, I'd be like, this is not as good as it should be. This is absolutely
There's not
delicious.
much I could say just watching this.
I've literally eaten
I'm
Waffle House
fucking
since I've
starving
been
right now.
fetus, and I've never seen a dish more big, bold, and beautiful than this thing. I mean, this is hella fresh.
Well, I've never had Waffle House before, and this is very good.
So this is comfort food, right?
Oh,
This
God.
is breakup food.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
It's
the patty
like-
melt.
Yeah.
It's night
It's
shift
3
food.
a.m. on the
It's-
night of your birthday. Had a few drinks. You're out at the party. You're going hard.
Just like walking, Jim, what's going on?
So,
Jim
yeah,
always
this is
works that night
watching
shift,
the
but that's
Brits.
the Saturday that you're
Here
always
comes the
partying.
next
Those
portion
fat
of the meal.
sandwiches.
Oh, the patty
I'm gonna
melt.
hurt myself physically.
Smothered covered chunks.
Wait, what? Okay, what is going on? What is this?
This is listen.
I
we
thought
have
we just
another
had a
round.
whole
No,
bowl of hash brown.
We have
Isn't-
another.
If
we
I
have
came
this
from another
and we have
country, India, wherever, and I sat down at the Waffle House has such flavor. Yes, it's a greasy fucking meal. It is cooked in lard. It is absolutely zero health consciousness in the Waffle House. But that's kind of the point of the Waffle House. You want to go there and you want to enjoy. You want to sit down in whatever inebriated state that you're in and have a quality, cheap meal. I give you the Waffle House. We had a Waffle House here in New York years ago, but it wasn't part of the Waffle House chain. It was a little different. It wasn't any good. Hence why it closed. I am dying for a while. I would drive. The closest Waffle House to me is somewhere in New Jersey. Piscataway, New Jersey, I think. If I didn't have anything to do today, I might go there for it. For just simple breakfast. Now, yeah, I can go to a diner over here and you can get all the same things you can get in a diner here that you can get in the Waffle House. I can get a patty melt. I can get awesome eggs. I can get all of that. I don't know, it's just something about the Waffle House. The fucking Waffle House. That pecan waffle. I like the blueberry waffle. Drool.
The All-Stars are coming.
Oh my god.
Look at these three.
Oh
There we go.
my
Oh, look at the bacon.
gosh.
Oh,
That's ridiculous.
bitch. Oh, you take a bite out of that.
This is Americana.
You
This is
whore.
like deliciousness, like pure deliciousness.
Let's do it, Josh.
Lightweight, not fatty.
That crunch.
Oh, pure gluttony.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He just had a pants
Then you
experience.
got this, which is just pure cheesesteak.
So is this just steak and cheese?
Yes.
Not a pickles guy.
Oh my gosh, that sandwich was incredible, Noah. That was incredible.
This is delicious.
These guys are in ecstasy.
Oh wow! Look at Noah's hand.
Waffle House.
That.
Look at that grease, baby.
Right?
Oh my gosh. That is.
So you just degreased an engine.
Physically, I'm not gonna be. I think I'm gonna have gout tomorrow.
I've got a question, Noah.
Yeah, if you got gout, I don't recommend going to the Waffle House. So these three enjoy a hell of a meal here. Of course, you get to the pecan waffle. Oh, there's the all-star breakfast. Even the fucking grits are good. I like grits.
What have you done? We're gonna die.
So he's holding in his hand the bottle of syrup. Most restaurants you go to now, diners, whatever, you get the little packets. Pain in the ass to open. Never enough. You got to open up 6 of them. Here, you drench that fucking waffle. I'm gonna drench the fuck out of you.
We're gonna die. We're definitely gonna die.
Smother it with butter.
Wait, what?
How many more dishes are there?
That's it. All right.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah, look at that. Lather
More
it.
syrup on the chocolate one as well.
Whoa.
Okay.
Okay.
Get in.
My daughter
Get
likes
in.
the chocolate.
Trying this one. Waffles, a clock.
Let's see.
Let's do this in Waffle House. Oh my God.
It's a waffle.
Yes, it's going everywhere.
I'm assuming they have waffles in England. But
It's a Waffle House chocolate
look at
waffle.
this. The guy on the left, his fucking eyes are rolling back into his head.
It's very sweet.
So much sugar. So then you need to co-enact it with getting these cheesy eggs. You need to get cheesy eggs.
I want to try some of this maple.
Okay,
What's this like?
I can't watch it anymore. I'm gonna jump through the fucking screen. But Brit's visiting the Waffle House. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna hit this last topic real quick. Our friend Michael Gavin Ali sent me this, and I guess he wanted me to comment on it. It's been a while, and as soon as I change to the picture, here it comes. Ah, Jesus. As somebody who's watched the Dabbleverse grow from its infancy to this otherworldly thing now, I don't even know what to say about this moron. And I call him a moron. I don't know John personally. Well, I've never met John face to face, put it that way. We have conversed in the past via text. And that was a whole another story that I won't get into right now. I don't know what is exactly wrong with him. In my mind, half of this has to be him doing a lot of this stuff on purpose, because there's no way you can be this deft at life and, do whatever he does. I don't know. So at the beginning of this video, he's on a rant talking to Kevin Brennan. Now, I've met Kevin Brennan. I tried to once help Kevin with his cat problems, which I never found out an answer to, because this was at the time where the whole Gino thing went happen and Kevin left Compound, and I haven't talked to him since, really. I know he's doing his own MLC thing now, and that's been pretty successful for a while. So John is yelling at Kevin for some reason, and he's on camera, obviously, screaming at him, making some threats, apparently, or I don't know. You tell me. What's going on in his mind here?
No problems, Brennan. My kids didn't abandon me, Brennan. So you better not fucking lie about me again. Brennan. And I'm not fucking around, Brennan. If you lie one more fucking time about me, Pinky, and I'm talking to you, Kevin Brennan, you lie one more fucking time about me, I'll be coming to your door. And we're going to have a talk. We're going to have a talk. I'll be in New York pretty soon, Kev. Don't worry. Brennan, say what you fucking want about me, Brennan, but when you lie, we got a problem. We got a problem. Talking to you, Kev.
I can't even follow this. I mean, I know the background kind of what is going on with all of this. It's, God, what word could I use to describe this? Well, for lack of a better word, fucking retarded. There, I said it. It's the situation is retarded. He is retarded. I don't know. This is, I don't know. What is John these days? I had heard he had moved to Florida. Somebody told me the other week he's driving from California to Florida. Is he still a teacher? Is he still doing stand-up? I'm not going to call it comedy because it ain't. He's just standing up, barely, on a stage. I saw him singing in some video a couple weeks ago. I'll use that term very, very loosely. So John has built a life that is building many others' lives, commenting on his crappy life. From the whole apartment he had in California, the roach infestation, to yelling at his mom on camera. I don't know what is with him. Look, John had a career back when he was on the Stern Show. Howard built him, basically. And he had an amazing thing that nobody else had. I give him that. No question. I mean, to have the balls to go up and do those street interviews that he did 30 years ago, with Johnny Bench and all these major stars, that took a lot of balls and stupidity. And he was good at it. When that ended, the slope, it wasn't just like going down a slide. It was like trying to climb down a ladder, missing a rung and falling to your death. He does a show, obviously. I've never watched it. I have much better things to do with my time. But it's funny because I know all the people that he's talking about. And I'm Switzerland in this. I have no sides in this. I just watch missiles fly over my head. So he obviously he's got some problem with Brennan. He's had so many problems with Carl from Who Are These Podcasts. And they've been on shows together, and then it goes back and forth and back and forth. That's where this whole Dabbleverse thing came from. And that was Chrissy's doing. Brilliance. And how it came out of nothing. Almost the way that the Proud Boys came out of Compound when they were joking about Ben and his show tunes and all of that. The Dabbleverse came from, what I understand, from when Chrissy had John on her show, and she was asking him a simple question. Are you dabbling in stand-up comedy? Just a question. It was an honest question. And man, did it explode. To now we've got DabbleCon. And we've got how many people, hundreds of people that are going to this thing to poke fun of this idiot. If he had any IQ higher than a fucking pea pod, he could have turned this thing into a great financial show thing for him. And this is something that Anthony said a long time, that if he was playing the role, he's fucking brilliant. And it would have been one of the best ever. But he's not. This is really him. So, where does this go?
Kevin Brennan. You just can't handle that I'm more successful than you, Brennan. Hit the like button. One more time, Brennan. Why are you attacking Dr. Steve?
All right.
That guy took part.
Hang on. Well, let him finish here for a second.
In attacking me. He took part in goofing on my family, Dr. Steve. So don't you tell me, Clay Dabbler, what I'm allowed to do. Don't you tell me who I'm allowed to be friends with. Don't you tell me, Jessica Flatcat, who I'm allowed to be friends with.
Oh, I love Jess. She's a kid. I love Dr. Steve. I was in hot water with Dr. Steve a couple weeks back. Dr. Steve is a wonderful, wonderful individual, knowledgeable, and one of the most honest medical people, or just people in general, that I have ever known. I have to give him huge credit. Oh, hang on, call back. I did it on my phone on ring, but I'll pick you up again. Michael was calling. Just call back, Mike. I'll pick you up. So when we were on with Dr. Steve, the honest things that he was saying, you'll never hear from another medical professional. And my respect to him, his knowledge. So how John here is going after Dr. Steve for whatever reason, he's a fucking idiot. Call him back as he was actually on. Hang on. Call him here. Get Michael on because I missed his call.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Mike, how you doing? You're on the show. Sorry I missed your call.
Hey, this whole Dabbleverse thing has morphed into something that I can't even describe it. It has taken over my life now. It's just a fucking psychodrama. It's like
I would be careful there. This is not something that remotely should take over your life. It is not worth the time nor the effort. It's nice to joke over it and it's nice to be funny, but don't let it consume you. My God, man.
No, it's just hilarious. Just how I can't even describe it. It is so fucking hilarious because John makes it so hilarious. Like, I don't even know how to describe it, man. It is like, it doesn't take over my life, but it's so entertaining so much that it's just so, like, it's like, you can laugh at an 80s movie, but this is like 10 times like an 80s comedy movie.
Well, because this is John's reality. And again, yes. I am so far out of this to be able to really comment about all the backgrounds. I don't watch this hardly at all. I did in the beginning, but I've been out of touch with it for a while. And now that it's kind of split and segmented into many different shows between MLC and all these other different shows and Carl's shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I've watched it grow like a spider web. And it's so convoluted. I appreciate you sending me the video, and I've watched it, and he's obviously completely out of his fucking mind, which is we all knew.
Yeah.
Let me bring him back up here. Let me play a little more of his Dr. Steve rant here.
Don't you tell me, Sunflower Dragon, who I'm allowed to be friends with. No. Don't work that way.
I mean, is his show just him screaming at people currently? Is that all he does?
Yes, and he's like Opie. He goes on the live stream and does the super chats thing. He answers super chats, and that's his show.
Well, if people are sending him super chats. Obviously, you know, there's money to be made there, and this whole thing is growing to he's probably making decent coin doing that. Look, Opie is another situation. I'm happy that he's doing something now. He goes to that bar, whatever. He's trying to get up to speed. Good for him. Let him do his thing. But I don't think Opie is that mentally gone like John. He's been picked apart. Everything that he does gets picked apart, and he's made it so easy that he's spawned shows off of the dumb shit that he's done or that he does, which I just don't understand how he's not taking more advantage of that situation. I don't know.
I know. I'm on a Howard Stern Facebook fan page, and I said that Stuttering John is more entertaining than Howard these days.
Oh, I'd agree with that. I'd agree with because Howard doesn't have any shock value anymore, and John's shtick is not even shock. You're watching sheer stupidity. It's sort of like watching someone run into a brick wall, get back up, and run into the brick wall again. You gravitate to that. So it's easy to watch, and you, as you know everybody that's involved in this whole Dabbleverse universe. So when he talks about someone that you either know or that you personally met, and you're like, well, I don't know this person like that. What is his beef? What is his problem? Especially when this is someone in John who could have been friends and on the straight level with everyone involved here, you know, based off what he had in his career before. And for some reason, he instead likes to turn it around and try to shit on everyone just for making fun of him. Everybody in the whole, I don't want to call it an Anthony or a compound circle, because this is kind of outside of that, but that's part of it. Everybody in this whole realm, let's call it, is all about ball busting. Everybody loves to bust everybody else's balls. And it's fun. You make fun of somebody and you laugh about it. But John, when you make fun of him, he gets royally pissed off and he starts threatening you. And I like I said, I remember when I had to deal with him a couple of years ago when his book came out, and he had asked me to write a review on his book on Amazon, which I never even bought the book or read it. And when I asked a friend of mine, Dennis, if he had been contacted by John, and Dennis went and put a shitty review on Amazon, and John, next thing you know, you're gonna get it, Dennis. I'm gonna hanging out with Gotti, and we're gonna come visit you. The blood is on your hands. What the fuck are you talking about? He's out of his fucking mind.
He is like so entertaining because he is so out of his mind. And you know, you ever heard of El Horrible and Tukey?
Yes. I haven't seen El Horrible. I've heard of him. I know Tukey. I've seen Tukey on. You know, these guys that have spawned, well, like Cardiff and Tukey. They use these characters on the streams. Brilliant. It's hilarious. I love which one is the Corn? Is that Corn Diff?
Yeah, Corn Diff.
Oh my God, that's fucking hilarious. You're talking to an ear of corn. It's hilarious. Great job by them. I never thought of anything like that before. I've seen it from them. Hilarious.
Yeah, I know. El Horrible is really hilarious. Check out his show on Saturday mornings. He talks about Stuttering John like 24/7. Like the whole show is related to John.
It's amazing how, and I know Carl from Who Are These Podcasts really, he really started this spawn of these John shows. He used to be picked apart. Anthony would pick him apart on his show, but Carl took it to the next level, and all of a sudden now all of these other shows have apparently spawned because there's so much. You could take every second of a John video, like the one that you have sent me here, and you can do 5 hours on it. It's been talked about on Chrissy's show. They probably even talked about it on Simpcast. I don't know. It's forever. And I know he knows it. He realizes it. And look, maybe in his mind, he knows that this is keeping him on the forefront of people still talking about him and keeping him up in relevancy. Because if not, who would give a shit about Stuttering John? You know, who would care? But now every little thing, the shit on his lip, he's got dribble on his shirt, all this crazy. It's fucking hilarious how they break it down. And kudos to everybody who does shows about it. I couldn't sit here and do fucking 3 hours on Stuttering John. I would lose my fucking mind. But yeah, the guy he's a walking billboard of a disaster.
Yeah.
Let's play a little more of John
when
here.
they were calling the school district to get me fired. Where were you guys when Silent Mike was putting pictures of my mother up, saying he was having sex with her, with handcuffs and videotapes? Where were you?
Look at his face.
Where were you when they were canceling my
he
gigs?
is.
Yeah.
Costing me thousands. When I was sold out.
I was sold out. He fucking, God almighty, he's so pissed.
Where were you,
He is like,
Black Cat? Where were you when all this was going on? Did you come to my defense? Where were you, Dirty Deeds?
His wife. Like, he will blame others for their problems on anybody else. And I say, they pull a Stuttering John. Like, to me, I had a big blowout with my dad, and he is so angry all the time. He is like blaming me for stuff that I did 40 years ago, which is, by the way, the most immature thing. And I just say, he just pulls a Stuttering John, and it's just so fucking hilarious. I just laugh at it.
John is obviously someone who's got his problems. You know, I won't get into his whole family dynamic with his kids and what's gone on there. It's well documented. It's insane. But look, watching this stuff is fun. It's funny to poke at him. You know, he's like, you know, you're poking the bear in the cage, and these veiled threats that he throws out there that he's going to do all these things and call my dirty Michael Pope back. You know, it's just whatever. I watch it from afar. It's goofy. It's stupid. But kudos to everybody who's made a show out of doing stuff, talking about him. He's really out of his fucking mind.
I mean, this was the best birthday gift this week. Just like on Tuesday, like my birthday just passed Wednesday, and I was laughing hysterically. I was laughing hysterically on my birthday, and this was the greatest birthday present that I actually got from any family member.
I'm sure that John would appreciate knowing that. Happy belated birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
And yeah, that's the Dabbleverse for you. So
I know, man.
All right, Michael, I'm gonna run because I gotta shut down. I gotta get some things done. I appreciate you calling as always. I will talk to you later.
Yep, you too.
Michael Gavin Ali, ladies and gentlemen. He loves the Dabbleverse. That is a boy who is locked in, like they say, to the old DB Dabbleverse there. So we are going to wrap this one up. Boy, this is the longest show I've had. We've gone over 2 hours. Where's my little thing here? Let me do the latest drivers and shit. Look at my camera fritzing out. I'm in the Matrix, baby. Those are your latest drivers. GeForce, Adrenaline. A new AMD chipset drivers came out this week. So if you got a Ryzen, you got AMD motherboard, you want to get those suckers installed, you can get them from guru3d.com. That's where I get all my drivers from. Great site, #1 site that I go to in the morning, run by a guy named Hilbert. Really does a great job there, so check that out. And again, if anybody wants to drop me an email, want to come on the show, whatever, there's the email address, subdivisionstv@gmail.com. Go there, drop me a line. Thank you to everybody who's already... I read all the emails, so if I haven't gotten to your topic or whatever yet, I will eventually. And you can go there and drop me a line. And ladies and gentlemen, that is just about it for this Saturday. I love when that graphic comes up. Wednesday, 8 o'clock, I'm shooting for American Asylum. I'm going to be sitting here spewing and ranting about all of the daily bullshit that we deal with in New York, on Long Island, just living, inflation, politics, all the things that I don't want to talk about here because, again, I try to keep this show as a fun environment for you all to learn, to come in, to laugh, have fun with it. And I appreciate every one of you who's doing this, who's sitting there and calling and being part of the show. Thank you so much. So I will see you all next Saturday for this show, Wednesday night for American Asylum, Friday night, 9 o'clock for karaoke. We had a great karaoke last night. 3 hours and 30 minutes of a lot of fun. A lot of great people came in. Marshall, Lindsay, Gino, Keanu, Joey Dago. A lot of people were in there. According to OBS, I had about 100 people watching. So I love it. That's great. Most on Twitter. So that was really awesome. Thank you all for doing that. And I will see you all as I've got to run to the airport in a while. And thank you again. I love you all. And I will see you all next week. Go to the Waffle House.